Hello futuristic developers. Today we are going to build an awesome full stack pizza delivery project with the Next.js framework and Sanity content management system, which is an incredible tool to get rid of dirty backend work. The server-side rendering in Next.js will make this application blazingly fast and SEO optimized. For global state management, we will not use the Context API or Redux toolkit, which are full of complexities. Instead of these, we are gonna discover modern solution Zustand for state management. For payments, we will learn how to integrate Stripe with our application, which is the most advanced method for online payments. We will also implement the cash on delivery method. The most important feature is beautiful UI UX, which is mostly neglected in many tutorials over the internet. But it's important to learn and convince your clients. So we will also do the pure CSS in detail without any framework or extra tool. Still, there is many more to learn. At the end of this project, we will also see how we can deploy this full stack project over the internet. So you can share this on your portfolio, submit to your clients, and even you can start your startup. And the bonus part is that no previous knowledge of Next.js is required to start this project. You just have to know the basics of React. So if you like my work, then do support me on Patreon and hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. So here I am in a blank VS Code directory, and mostly we start our next project by writing npx create next app like this. But the problem with this command is it installs too much extra stuff, and generally we remove all that stuff to start our new project. So to avoid this problem, I have made the starter pack for you, as I always do in every project. So here is the starter pack for this project, and you just have to copy this link, and in your VS Code in the terminal write git clone and paste the link simply and hit the enter button. It will clone this small repository and take some time, so let's wait. Okay, here the repository has been cloned. Now I am going to its directory by revealing file explorer, and let's remove this previous instance of VS Code and opening here a new VS Code. Okay, so in this starter pack, first of all, I have this assets folder. In the assets folder, I basically have some PNGs to complete this project. And then to explain more directories, I have to start the development server. So to start a development server, first we have to install all the dependencies required for this application. So to install them, simply write yarn and hit the enter button. Here all the dependencies have been installed successfully. Now to start a development server, write yarn dev, means start the development, and on the localhost 3000 you can see it is started. And here it is saying subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE. So it's basically a very simple template which is acquiring all our needs. So first of all, let's see what we have inside the style. Inside the styles, I have globals.css. Globals mean it will be available for all over the application. And here I have imported a font, Poppins font from the Google Fonts. Then for the whole body, I have given some font family, font color, the background color, and of course the margin will be the 0. And in the horizontal direction, I have made the overflow hidden, so our application will never scroll in the horizontal direction. And then I have made some variable for the shadows and colors. I have customized the scroll bar according to our application. These are the very basic settings and are not very important to explain, therefore I have made them in globals.css, and you can acquire them out of the box by cloning the starter pack. And then similarly, I have given the links, some colors and text decoration and so on. Okay, after the styles, inside the pages, I have an underscore app.js. In underscore app.js, here I have given a specific thing, page props. And it is very important to understand why I have done this. And you can only understand this when I will start the project actually. So for now, just skip this one and go to the index.js. Inside the index.js, in the head tag, as we usually do in the HTML, I have given a title for our application and I have given a PNG file which is available inside the assets. In the main body, I have just made an H1 heading of subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE. As you see here, it is saying subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE, and actually the Next.js development server is very fast. As you see, as soon as I made any change here, it will be reflected on the spot. Here you can see how fast it is. This is the total explanation of our starter pack, and you can see how small and easy setup we have. So in the browser, I am opening my deployed version and having a look what we have to develop first. So this is the deployed version, and on the first we have the header section and this hero section. So let's start by making the header section first. But if we notice one thing in our application, that every page has one thing common. The header and footer is going to be the common in every page of our application. As you see that this is the home page, have header and footer. Similarly, if I go to any product page, it also has the header and footer. So there is a very special technique in the React.js that we can wrap the header and footer around every page in our application. So how can we do that? So for this, I am making a new folder components in our application like this. Inside the components, I am going to make the very first component layout.jsx. Here make an arrowhead function const layout. Okay, so let's make the parameters blank for now, and then it will return some JSX like this. And in the JSX, the very first thing is going to be the header. Then there will be the body of the page, means the children, and at the last there will be the footer of our page. So as the children is going to be the dynamic regarding every page, so I am receiving the children as a prop, and now I have to make the header and footer first. So similarly, I am going to make header.jsx inside the components like this, and here simply write edf to export default function. Okay, so you can use this ES6 extension for such auto suggestions, and then I am removing all the parameters for it like this, and inside the function it will return, let's say for now it is just returning a div which is saying the header, and also make the footer component similarly. And inside the footer, edf export default function with the footer, no parameter, and return some JSX which will say footer. So let's save this, also save the header one, and inside the layout.jsx I am auto importing the header component and the footer component. Now our next thing is to wrap this layout function around the index page. So index is our home page. Our every Next.js application is going to start from index.js page. So here I am making layout. Okay, so it is not auto suggesting me, I don't know why. Okay, let's in the JSX. Yeah, here we have to also export default it. So export default layout, and then it can be imported here. Now if I make auto suggestion, yeah, like this, and wrap over all the page inside the layout. So if I save this and have a look, here you can see I have a header and I have a footer, and in between I have the children. So now we can understand the concept of underscore app.js. Inside the underscore app.js, it is providing the global CSS for all the application. And then the component and page props is going to be the reasoning of wrapping our layout component around every page in the application. So I hope now you understand the underscore app.js. We have nothing to do so more special with this file. So let's just close this. So let's start by actually making the header component. So inside header.jsx, as this is an HTML template, so we also have to make some CSS, and today we are going to use a very special technique for writing CSS, which is .module.css. So inside the styles, I am making a new file with the name header.module.css. Okay, I will explain you what is the benefit of making it as a module. But first let's import this module inside my header.jsx. Here I am saying import CSS from go outside, then inside the styles header.module.css. Okay, so now all the styles from this file are imported as the CSS. So how can I make this? So let's say inside the module CSS I am making a class header and giving it a border of 2 pixels solid black. Okay, and now to use this class in my JSX, here I am giving it a class name of css.header. As simple as that. Now if I save it and have a look, here you can see a border is applied around the header. So how this is working? Basically the benefit of making it module that we will not mix up the class names of various components between each other. Because let's say the class name container is very common to use in many components, and if we give a container for many components and then make a styling for a specific component, then it will be automatically applied for all. So to remove this ambiguity, the React.js has provided us the concept of module.css. If I inspect this header component, okay, so I am there is, and you can see in the body the class name of header is not simply a header. It is something like header underscore header, and then it has given it some ID. So all these particular things are done by module.css itself. We no more have to worry about mixing up the class names. So now I think you have understood the concept of module styling, and it's actually very useful in the React environment. Have a look at the developed version. As you see that the header is divided into the 3 sides: the logo side, menu side, and the cart side. So let's start by making the logo side. Here I am saying logo side, make a div for the logo, and I am giving it a class name of logo. Of course I will define all these class names in the CSS, but for now I have to import the image of our logo. So I am going to use the image component of Next.js, and I am giving a source of logo from my assets folder with the alt attribute of nothing, otherwise it will generate a warning. And the auto suggestion has not worked here, so I have to import it manually. Here I will say import image from Next.js and then image. Also I have to import the logo png, so I will say import logo from go outside inside the assets logo.png. Let's save this, and now here I have the icon of our application. Let's remove the styling. So module file is module.css. Here I am removing this border for now. And what is the benefit of using the image component from Next.js library? Basically, it will optimize the images used in the project for every device automatically. We not have to bother more about the resolution of our images, their responsiveness, their optimization for the SEO. All the things will be handled by this image component of Next.js. Okay, for more I will like to give it some width of 50 and similarly the height of 50, like this. Let's save, and yeah, all the weight is correct. Let's make a span which will simply say Fudo, which is the name of our application. Then go to the center side, which is the menu side, and here I am making a div with the class name of menu. For the menu I am simply going to make an unordered list. So instead of this div I can make it a parent element of unordered list, and here I will make 3 list items. So yeah, like this. The first item will be the home, the second one will be the menu, and the third one contact, like this. So let's save it, and now go to the third side, which is going to last side, and it is the cart side. So instead of cart side, let's make it more reasonable by saying it as right side, and in the right side make a div with the class name of right side, and here I am simply saying cart side. So let's save it and have look. Yeah, I have all the 3 elements. let's import the cart png. So for this, first of all, I will make a separate div because I also have to make a badge on the cart png. So therefore I am making a div with the name cart and importing an icon from the UIL shopping bag name. Basically, this icon is available by the icon scout library, which is made for the React, and I think it is available for all the other frameworks, but I specifically use it for the React because it works fine. Okay, so I have to import it manually. I don't know why auto suggestion is not working well for now. So UIL shopping bag from @ icon scout React unicons. Let's save. And yeah, here the icon has been imported successfully. It's time to style our header. So open the module file here, and I am opening it side by side so you can reference it with the body of our header like this. And let's target the, of course, header class first. Make it display flex so both the three sides will be in the horizontal direction. Align item center, justify content, not the center, it will be the space between, so they will be spread around the corners of screen. And then the padding of 1 rem from all the sides. And here we have how cool it is. And now I am going to target the logo div first because it is the first side. Make display flex, align item center, and justify content center. Let's see. Okay, so I should make it justify content flex start, not the flex center, with the gap of 0.5 rem. So let's save. Okay, to make it more clear, I am going to do one thing first. I will give the flex of 1 for each side, so they will contain the equal width of our screen. So the center side is the menu, give it a flex of 1. And similarly, the third one is the right side, giving it a flex of 1 again. Let's save it. And here we have all have the equal widths. Of course, they are aligned at the flex start, so I will fix them. I am also going to target the span inside the logo, which is basically the name of our application. Here you can see after this logo I have the span. So I am targeting basically this one and giving it a font weight of bold with the font size of 1.5 rem like this. And here we have. Now we can easily move to the menu side, and menu will have display flex with the list style of none because for now I have the black round bullets that I don't like, and then a gap of 2 rem between the items. So yeah, the one thing I can also do is to justify content center, so they will be in the center of their positions, and then making it a z index of 99, so the menu will always be above every element on our page. Yeah, like this. It's time to move on for our badge side. As for now, the png is very small, so I am going to change its size, and I am giving it a size of, let's say, 35 with the color of like this. And now I can easily make a badge over it with the div and a class name of css.badge, and inside, and for now I am giving it a static value of 1. Of course it will be dynamic when we fully develop our application, but for now let's give it a static value of 1. So if I save this, and here I have a 1. For the right side, making a display flex, gap of 1 rem, and justify content towards the flex end. So justify content flex end like this. Yeah, here I have. Okay, so to make this badge over the cart, I have to make the cart div as position relative. So for the cart, I am making it position relative, display flex, and the cursor as pointer. Also I am making it z index of 99 as I have made for the menu, and similarly you can go for the logo. Now I have to style the badge. So for the badge, now I can use the position absolute as the parent element is the position relative, with the display flex and the background color of our variable, which is the theme red. Then the text color of the badge will be white. Let's save and have a look. Here I have, okay, I have to give it the border radius to make it a circle. So the border radius of 50%. Also I specify the width and height. So width of 20 pixel, height of 20 pixel. Let's save. Okay, if I make it display flex, then everything will be correct with the justify content center, line item center. Yeah, how cool it is looking. The only thing remaining is to specify its position. So I am making it right minus 0.5 rem. So yeah, our header is completed for now, but the menu is missing something. So here in the menu, I will say in the menu there are some list items, and on hover these list items, make the cursor as the pointer and the color of the list item as our variable, which is the theme red, like this. Let's save. And yeah, our header is fully completed. How easy that was. The next thing is to make the footer for every page. As the header is same for the every page, similarly the footer will also be the same. Let's close this header module and similarly close the header.jsx, and inside the footer let's remove this pretext, and here I am making a div with the class name of container. In this, first of all, there will be a span which will say a text all rights reserved, like this, and then I am making a div with the class name of social, means it will contain all the social icons. As I have did in the header.jsx, similarly I will import some icons from the icon scout library. Like this, I have imported the Facebook, GitHub and the Instagram icon. Let's save this. Okay, so it is saying an error that css.container not found because I have not made the CSS module for the footer one. So inside the styles, make the footer.module.css, and then import this inside the JSX module.css. Now if I save it, the error will gone. As you see that here I also have the three icons, but their sizes are very small, so I am going to give a property size of 45. So means 45 pixels, the size in the pixels. So if I copy and paste it 2 times more, and yeah, now the size is very correct. The next thing is again as I have did in the header section. If I go to the header.jsx, here I have the logo side, so I'm just simply copying this and pasting it here, and I have to import the image from the next image, format the body. Let's save. And then there is an other error of the logo is not imported, so let's import the logo also. So just copy and paste this line, and yeah, the footer is also completed with respect to its body. It's time to style the footer. So opening the module side by side, target the parent container, making it as display flex with the flex direction of column and giving a gap of 3 rem. So all the items will be in the vertical direction. The margin top of 6 rem to separate it from the body, and then the line item center, justify content center as we do mostly, and then I am giving it a very specific color. Here I have given it a linear gradient color with the upside down direction. You can just simply copy and paste it from the video. So yeah, you just pause the video and copy and paste this value. So if I save it, here it have this color, but it is not giving me a gradient effect, because here instead of using the color value, just simply use the background, and now it has the gradient. Okay, it's time to style the inner components. So I will say the container is containing a span inside it. Give it a text color of our theme red, like this, and with the font weight of bold. After this, I am targeting the logo with the display flex, justify item center, justify content center, and let's see. Now give a gap in the logo. So the gap of 0.5 rem. This is as same as I have did in the header section. So after this, the logo is containing a span, and for this span make the font weight of bold with the font size of 1.5 rem. You can just simply copy and paste it from the header CSS. Now for the social icons, giving them a display of flags with the gap of 1 rem so they can have a distance between them. Yeah. Now let's fix their color. So I will say inside the social there are all the PNGs, and for all of them make these SVGs fill with our theme red. Yeah. So our footer is also completed, header is also completed. How easily we have made both the things. It's time to actually make our first home page of pizza delivery application. So in this project, you will see the styling, the body structure, and also the logic of how we can implement such a full stack application. Let's make the hero section of our application. If we have a look at the developed version, the hero section have these PNGs and these headings. So let's make a component inside the components folder with the name hero.jsx, and also I will make a style file for the hero section. So inside the styles folder I am making hero.module.css. Okay, so now let's close all the extra files. Here I have the hero.jsx and hero.module.css. So first of all, write edf export default function, no parameters, and it will return some JSX. So div.css.container. Okay, of course I have to import its CSS first. Let's make a text bigger. Here import like this. It is imported here, and in this I will say hero. So now to see the results in our browser, I have to import this component inside index.js. So okay, to import this, here I am saying import hero. Okay, let's give it by the auto suggestion. Yeah, like this. And now instead of this h1 heading, I will make it the hero section. Okay, let's save and have a look in a browser. So here it is saying the hero means our new component has been imported successfully. Okay, so now let's go to the JSX, and here I am going to divide it into the two sides, the left side and similarly the right one, like this. So why I am dividing into two sides? Here if we look at the developed version, the left side contains these headings and the detail with a button, while on the right side we have the alignment of images. Therefore I am dividing it so that our code will look more clear and readable. Okay, let's start by the left side. In the left side, first of all, I have a cherry span. As you see that there is a cherry image which is saying more than faster. So I am making a div with the class name of, let's say, cherry div for easy naming convention. Inside this div, first of all, I will have a span which will say more than faster, and then of course there will be an image. So I am importing the image component from Next.js, and then the src of cherry, I have to import the cherry with the alt attribute of nothing, let's say, and import the cherry png. So here I have given it a path to import. Let's save, and here we have more than faster with a cherry. Let's style up to this point. So here first of all, target the main container class. I am making it a display flex with the position relative. Okay, and then I will target the left side specifically, and then okay, as I have given the display flex, so I should give some content for the right side also. So okay, as this is right side, so let's say for now I will say it as right side, and then inside right side only, and yeah, there is the one. Okay, so as soon as I save my CSS, it will be in a horizontal direction. Yeah, great. Okay, after this, for the left side, first of all, I'll make display flex with the flex direction of column and a gap of 2 rem between all the elements, so that all the headings will be in vertical direction. And then I am specifically targeting the cherry div, making it as display flex, line item center, justify content center with the width of, let's say, fit content. So we not have to specify it manually in the pixels or rem, and let's save it. Yeah, but I have to give it a background color to see it properly. So I'm giving background color of a variable which is pink, like this. And okay, it is a very faded color, but I can imagine where is the boundary. Okay, so to make it more clear, I am giving it a border for now, 2 pixels solid black. Yeah, now you can easily see that. After this, I am giving it a margin top of 3 rem because I am feeling it's too much on the top side, with the padding of 1 rem, and the border radius should also be defined for this, and I am giving only 2 rem. Yeah, looking nice, but still there is a problem with the font size, that it is too much for a small span. And then the color of the text will be our theme red, so like this. And the font weight of bold, all the things I have did are only belonging to the font. So yeah, how cool it is looking now. I can remove the border from here, and the only problem is the image size here. So I am giving it a width of 40 with the height of let's say the height will be 25 will be enough. So there was a problem with the font size, that the auto suggestion made it font style, not the font size. So I have to fix it, and now yeah, now it's looking too much like our developed version. Here you can see that. The only problem remaining is with the padding, that it is too much attached with the corner of screen. So as the padding is not only belonging to the hero section, it is involved with all the page. So for this, inside my styles, I am making a new component with the name home.module.css. Okay, and here I will make a container, and for this container giving a padding of 1 rem and 2 rem. Okay, now where I will include this container, so inside the index.jsx I am including the css as import css from, and for the most parent container here just above the head, I am giving a class name of css dot container. So as soon as I save this, here you can see our padding is all the way correct. Okay, yeah, this is a default size. Now we can move on to our left side of hero section. So closing the index, closing the home module. So basically during making the left side, I forget to actually make a div for the left side. I just made a styling, and I was not wondering why this is not working, because till now we have not such a styling that will affect the alignment, because we have only one element inside the flex, but I just noted it, so it's a good thing. Okay, now for format it, so this is our left side, and then here is our right side. Okay, as we were focusing on the left one, so again make a div with the css dot hero text like this, and inside this I am going to make 3 spans. So in the first 2 spans I have written some text, while in the third span I will write your and then the pizza. Okay, let's have a look at the developed version. Okay, let's have a look at developed version. So you can see that the pizza word have a different color from the other heading. So to make this effect, what I will do, I will make the pizza text inside a separate span. So I will just give it a separate span like this, and then the pizza will lie inside here, and now I will give a separate styling for this. So style will be equal to color, which is going to our variable theme red. Okay, as soon as I save this, here you can see, okay, there is a text with the name pizza, and pizza have a different red color. Of course, it's not too much visible for now due to smaller text size, but we will fix it in the styling. So let's do the styling. After this, here I am targeting the hero text and making it display flex with the flex direction of column and the font size of 4 rem with the font weight bold. So let's save. So styling is not applied in the vertical direction. Let's see why. Oh, sorry, the left side should also be here. Okay, so the hero text just become out of the left side div, therefore it was not working. I know it's a little bit confusing, but now it's clear to you. Now you have This is the starting of left side, this is its ending, and in the inner side I have this div and this div. So if I save this, now it's in the vertical direction. So after this, here I am making a span with the class name of mini text like this, and I am writing some text inside this. So here this is a text inside this one, and I am going to target this mini text span. So mini text here, and giving it a width of 70% of our total left side like this, with the color of our variable gray that I have made in a global CSS with the font weight of 600. So here I have this text as I have in a developed version. So the last thing is to make a button here. So for the button, here I am making a button and giving it simply a class name of button. Why I have given it simply a class name button, I will explain it, but first write get started. Okay, as the buttons are used too much in our application many times in many pages, so it's not a good idea to make the button separately for each component. Therefore I am making a general class inside the globals.css with the name button, and the styling of this button will be applied to all the buttons in our application. For the button I am giving a width of maximum content with the padding of 1 rem, border radius of 4 rem, and a border of none, means nothing on the border. The color of text will be white. The font size of 1.1 rem, and a cursor will be like pointer on the button. So if I save it, here you can see this is the button, but still the background color should also be applied. So I am giving a background color of our variable, which is the theme red. Let's save and have a look how cool our button is looking. But the padding is not correct as we have in the developed version. The padding is more than this one. So to fix this, now I am going to make a special class for the button of hero section, because this special padding only belongs to the hero component. Therefore what I will do, I will remove these double quotations and making them as backticks, and to use the backticks it should be inside curly braces. And now I can use my own variable, which is css.btn. So inside the hero module.css I am making a class button, giving it a padding of 1 rem and 2.5 rem, which is according to the hero section. If I save both files, and now you can see the button is also in a correct form. So our left side is completed. It's time to make the right side of hero section. For the right side, just remove this pre-div and make a new div with the class name of simply right like this. And inside this div, I am making a image container. So the name of class will be css.image container, and inside this there will lie our hero image. So hero image with the source of hero image, and the alt attribute will be nothing. Let's make it like this. And I have to import the hero image. So as I did here, similarly let's copy and paste and change the names. Perfect, like this, and have a look. Okay, here I have my hero image, but its size is too much large. Therefore our left side is no more in a correct form. So to fix this, here first of all I will make it layout as intrinsic. Intrinsic means it will only contains the space or the width as long as the image container is. Therefore I have made a separate image container so that it could specify the width of its inner image. Okay, so it's time to fix this by the styling. So for the right side I am making first of all position relative, and then I am targeting the image container and making image container width of 38 rem with the position absolute. So if I save this, here you can see our image is now having a correct width. It's time to fix its position. So I am giving a top of -5 rem distance with the left of -5 rem. Let's save, and yeah, our our hero section is almost completed. Our next task is just to make this contact and this Italian pizza section. So let's make the contact us. Okay, so just below this image container, I am making a div with the class name of contact us, and then inside this I am making a span which will say contact us like this, and then I am making a div which will contain the icon from our icon scout library. So div, and inside this UIL phone with the color of white, means this SVG will be filled with the white color. Okay, so to make this happen I have to import UIL phone. I am also importing the Italian pizza image because it will be required after some time. So import pizza one like this. Now let's see. Here I have the contact us div, and there is a SVG as you can see here of phone, but as it is of white color it is not too much visible for now, but let's fix this. Open the module.css and here target the dot contact us, means the contact us class with the display flex, line item center, justify content center, and a position of absolute, so we can handle its position manually according to the parent div. And then I am giving it a width of maximum content, so the content will always in a horizontal direction without any wrapping. Padding of 1 rem, the border radius 5 rem, top of 6 rem. So yeah, it's in a correct, but still the phone is not visible. Let's make the phone visible. So I will say dot contact us is containing a div, and for that div make a background like this with the border radius of 50%, means a circular div, width of 2.5 rem, display flex with the line item center, justify content center, and the height of 2.5 rem. So yeah, now our phone is visible. Now we can fix this contact us and a gap between them. So for them I am giving a gap of 1 rem as we have made them display flex, giving them a background color of white, the box shadow as we have made a variable in our global CSS with the name shadow. The color of the text will be our theme red, yeah, like this. Let's save, and here it is. How cool it is looking. So let's fix the position of our contact us div. So after the top of 6 rem I am also giving it a left value, so left of -6 rem, and yeah, all the way correct. It's time to make a hover effect. After this div I am targeting contact us and then making it on hover like pointer with the transform of scale up 1.1%. So yeah, it is scaling up and scaling down as we have predicted. Let's make the last part of our hero section, which is the Italian pizza div. So after this contact us div, here I am making a div giving it a class name of simply pizza, inside which there will be again a div which will contain the image. So image, and the src of image will be the pizza one that I have imported. Alt attribute I am giving nothing for now, with the object fit of cover, so the cropping will be automatically handled by our next image component. And layout intrinsic, as I have explained you before, why we use this to control the width of the image. Make the word wrap on, and then after the image there will be the details, so css dot details div, and inside this making a span which is saying, then there is an other span for the price, and for the price I am writing $7.49, let's say. And okay, so it is too much huge. Now we are in an extreme need of doing styling. So quickly move to the CSS side. and here the pizza will have display flex gap of 1 rem with the background color of white and a box shadow, as I have already made the variable of our shadow like this with the padding of 0.5 rem, and the border radius is also 0.5 rem. Let's save. Okay, so now we have a beautiful border around the image, but let's first target this image and correct its width and height. So I will say dot pizza contains a child. The nth child 1 means the first child, which is the image. Make its width of 6 rem and the height of 4 rem with the overflow of hidden. So now we have a beautiful image inside a beautiful div. Okay, so I am also going to give it a border radius of almost 0.5 rem. Yeah, the image is looking nice now. Let's fix the position. So for the position, here I am giving position absolute with the bottom of 4 rem distance, means from bottom it will have 4 rem distance, from left 19 rem with the width of maximum content. Again, it will not wrap around. And if I save this, here we have this Italian pizza div. Okay, now to make the Italian pizza and the price in a vertical direction, what I will do, pizza contains a child, so nth of child, which is the second child, and for this make display flex with the flex direction of column, justify content of space between, so they will be around the div in a vertical direction, and the font weight of bold. So here we have the results, but if we look at developed version, the dollar have a red color. So to change the color of dollar sign as I did before, similarly I am again going to make a separate span, making the dollar inside this span and then giving it a style. And for the style, so here the dollar color is changed. Our hero section is now complete. Okay, I also have to make the hover effect. Here I am saying dot pizza, on hovering this, do some transformation of scaling it up about 1.1%. So yeah, okay, let's also make cursor like pointer. So now our hero component is ready. It's time to make the next component, which is in the developed version, is the services section. So next we will do the services section. For the services section, let's close this hero module, and then I am also closing footer, and inside the components, here I am making a new file with the name services.jsx, and let's open it towards the right side like this. And as I always do, so similarly I have to make a style for this services.module.css. Okay, so I am also opening this side by side here. Now inside the JSX component, EDF for the export default function, and then no parameter, return some JSX. Here I am making an empty node. First of all, I have to make a heading for my service section. Therefore, I am making a heading class, and inside this I will make 3 spans. So like this. Now let's write some text inside these spans. So here I have written some text in these 3 spans. Now I have to import its CSS file. So to import CSS, simply import CSS from styles folder and then services.module.css. Yeah, okay, let's make text a little bit smaller like this. Now let's save this and import this section in my index.js. So I am opening index file, and below this hero section I am importing services like this. Let's save this and have a look. Here I have these headings that I have written in the span. This means it's working correctly. It's time to style these headings. So inside the .css, I am targeting the heading class, making it a display flex and flex direction of column. So these headings will be in vertical direction, as you can see there. Now making a font weight bold for all of them with the justify content center and the align item center. Let's see. and here I have. Okay, I also have to change the font size, but for the font size I will target each span individually. So heading have the nth child, which is the first child. Make the color of our theme red, so like this, and the font size of one rem will be enough. So yeah, now you can see that this have a perfect font size with a color. Let's target the second child. So again, inside the heading I have a nth child of type 2, means the second child, and make the font size of 2 rem for this. And also I am targeting the third one similarly. So here just write third child, and now you have how cool our heading is, looking exactly same as we have in the developed version. It's time to make these images and also their descriptions. So here I am making a comment with the name features, or you can also say them as the services. So let's make a div with the name services, and inside these services we will have some features. So let's make our div with the name an individual feature. Let's copy and paste this 3 times because we will have 3 features. And here I will say second feature, and similarly I will say third one as the third feature, like this. Now let's start by making our first feature. First of all, we will have an image. So to make an image, as I always do, we have to make an image wrapper. So div css dot image wrapper, like this, and inside this next image component with the source of some image. Let's say it is service1, so I am saying its image as s1 with the alt attribute of nothing for now, object fit cover, and the layout of intrinsic. Now I have to import this s1 png. So on the top I'll say import s1 from, go to the assets folder, and then target s1.png. Similarly, I am also importing the second and third service png, so I will not have to again import them, like this. Now let's have a look. So here I have my first service PNG with no description or detail, and also they are in a vertical direction because we have not made them flex yet. So let's target the services div inside the CSS module. Here I am targeting the services, make them display flex with the margin top of 3 rem and a gap of 3 rem between the services, align item center, justify content center. So yeah, here we have these 3. Also I have to target the each feature individually, therefore I am targeting it as dot feature with a display flex, and items will be in a vertical direction. But still we have only one item inside our feature, which is the image wrapper. So to make it more practical, let's first define the structure of our feature. Okay, I am separating them as like this and opening the word wrap. Now after this div, I am making 2 spans. So and writing some text inside them. So here I have made these 2 spans with some text. Let's format it. Okay. Now we can style them more logically. Here you can see these 2 spans are in a horizontal direction. So to make them in a vertical direction, I am making the display direction in vertical. So flex direction column with the line item center, justify content center, and a gap of 1 rem. Here we have. Okay, also I have to target the image because the size is too much huge. So to reduce the size, I am targeting the image wrapper, making its width of only 10 rem and similarly the height. Let's save it, and yeah, all the way is correct. It's time to style these details. So to style these details, here I will say the feature class contains a child. So the child number of our first detail means first span is second. As you can see that inside the JSX, this is the first child and this is the second child of our class feature. I should separate this as like this. So I am targeting this span now. For this span, I am simply making its font weight of bold. Nothing more special. And then similarly, I have to target the third child means our second span inside the feature. I am making its color of our variable gray. Then making the word wrap breakdown. So it will break our line segment according to the width of our feature. And then giving the width of 20 rem and text align center. Let's have a look. Here we have how beautiful and clear the service is looking now. Similarly, I am going to make the second and third service. So here I have made all the services. This is the first service. You can see this here, and then I have just simply copy and paste it here. Just I have changed the text of span, and then I have made the third one again by just simply copy and pasting and changing this text. So if I save this and look how beautiful and clean our interface is looking now. It's time to make our next component, which is the menu. And in this component, as we have to interact with our headless content management system Sanity, so therefore before making this component, we have to set up the Sanity first. So to set up the Sanity with our application, here I am opening the terminal and just close the development server by pressing Ctrl C. And then I am going to my directory here, just close all the folders, and I am going to make a new folder with the name Sanity. Okay, so what is the next step? Inside the terminal I am going to the Sanity folder by cd sanity, and then it's time to install the Sanity CLI package. For this, write npm install, and then don't forget to give the global flag. So it will install the CLI globally in your computer or laptop, and then write Sanity CLI. It will take some time to install. Let's wait. So the Sanity CLI has been installed successfully. Now I am going to write a command to initialize our new project with Sanity. Write sanity init, means initialize the Sanity, and press the enter button. Now it will ask some questions from you. It is asking me to create a new project or use the project that I have made before. So I am making a new project, create new project. Now it is asking me for the name of my project. I am saying it as YouTube, and let's say YouTube Fudo. The next question is whether I should use a default dataset configuration or not. So just simply press the yes, and then it will take some time to create a new dataset. Okay, after this, now it is confirming us the path of our project. So yeah, it is in a correct directory, the Sanity folder inside the Fudo ZAINKEEPSCODE. So I am just simply pressing the enter button. The next question is whether we should use a pre-built schema provided by the Sanity, means a movie project schema, e-commerce schema, or a blog schema. And the last option is clean project with no predefined schemas. So in this tutorial, as I am going to make everything from scratch, so therefore I am choosing this option. So press enter button. And so there is a problem with our Sanity, or maybe it is a problem with our npm server, that the configuration just hangs on this step, on the resolving dependency. So how can we solve this problem? Just press the Ctrl C and it will break this installation. But don't worry, we can continue from this. As we know, inside the Sanity folder here, now we have some configuration luckily. Inside the package.json, you can see that now we have all the required dependencies to complete this setup. So what I will do, I am running the yarn command manually here. So just press the yarn and hit the enter button. So here all the dependencies have been installed successfully, and they have taken a long time to install because it is not a normal or official method to install a Sanity, but it is working for now. And it's a problem for many of people like me and many more, and no one knows a specific reason for this. By the way, let's start this by writing sanity start. Here it is saying content studio successfully compiled, go to localhost 333, means the 3333. Okay, so just click on this, and It is saying to make a login. So I am logging in with my Google account. So here our Sanity Studio has started successfully. How cool it is and how easy it was. Okay, there is one thing that I have missed because I have already made a login for a previous project. Therefore, this time during the installation, Sanity has not given me an option to log in. When you start a project from scratch like me, then it will ask you to make a login into Sanity account first. You don't have to go for the login manually in your browser. It will give you an option in your terminal to make a login with your Google account. So just press the enter button, as simple as that. Anyhow, our Sanity Studio is now running. And if we have a look at a directory of Sanity, here we have the configs, node modules, plugins, and the most important schema. The schema is one thing only with which we have to work inside the Sanity folder. So inside the schema, if I look at the schema.js, okay, let's close this site for now. So this file will contain the names of all the schemas that we will make by ourselves. By the way, inside the schemas folder, I am going to make a new schema with the name pizza.js. Means this is a schema for our pizza type. And for a good naming convention, I should make it in a small letters because it is not a JSX. To make the first schema, write export default, and then we have to give the name of our schema, which is going to be the pizza for this one. And then the title is again going to be the pizza with the type, it is a document. This is a necessary setup to make as a model as we do in a MongoDB. And then we have to declare about the fields in our pizza schema. Here I am saying fields, and fields is again going to be a key value pair. So its value is of course will be an array of object, and each object will represent a field in the model. So the first field is going to be the name, which will be the image, and its title is again going to be the image. I am giving it a type. So type is basically as we have our variable types, constant type. So similarly, we have a type in our Sanity schemas. So for this, I am simply giving it a type of image, because as you clearly see that I have given it a name of image, so it will be the image of our pizza. The next thing is to give specific options, and inside the options I am giving it hotspot true. So what will this hotspot do? If we have to crop or edit our image directly into the database, then we should make the hotspot true. This is the most cool feature in the Sanity Studio. The next thing is going to be the name of our pizza, or you can say the title. So name is name, and then title is again going to be the name, and its type, as you predicted, string. The next field is going to be the slug of our specific pizza. Okay, what is the slug? Let me explain you, but first let's make this. So what is the slug? Slug is just like a specific or unique ID as we have in our MongoDB or SQL or PostgreSQL, any type of database. They are containing a specific ID. But the benefit of Sanity Studio is that this ID is easily recognizable by this type slug. When we will practically make it inside our studio, then you can easily observe how the slugs are matching and making a type of pair with the name of our source, means the name of our pizza. So this unique ID is not such thing that is not rememberable. You can easily memorize it as it comes from the name of your product. We can make the unique URLs, the unique page names with the help of this slug field. By the way, on next we will see how can we use it in our application, but for now let's make the other field with the name of price of our pizza, and the title is again going to be the price with the type. For the type, I am giving it a type of array. Why I have given it a type of array? Because we will have three sizes of each pizza: the small one, the medium one, and the large one. So each pizza will have the three prices. Now I am saying off, and inside the off write type as number. How easy is the language of the Sanity, as it is closely matching with the simple English. Make a name price with the title price, then give it a type of array, and this type will be again a type of numbers. The next and last field is going to be the detail of any pizza. So details, similarly give it a title. Let's save it. And now to make it accessible in our studio, we have to add the schema inside the schema.js. So inside the schema.js, as it is already saying inside in the comment your types here. So my type is going to be the pizza, which will come from the pizza. And let's save this and have a look in our Sanity Studio. So you can see now the content contains a field name pizza, and if I click on this, then it is saying no document of this type. So we can make a new one by clicking here. And how cool is it? Now we can upload an image, make a name, then it can automatically generate a slug. We can add prices and details. Just try to imagine how much work we have to do to make a same stuff in a MongoDB or any other database. This is the real power and magic of Sanity, so let's use it. So I am going to upload some data for my pizza document. Here I am uploading an image. Let's say in the desktop I have this pizza image, so it is uploading here. Then give a name for this pizza as Italian pizza, and then we can also give a specific slug by typing manually, but I prefer to generate it automatically. As you see that how the slug is as same as the name. Then it's time to add some items for the prices. So let's say the first price of our pizza is for the small one, which is 13, and then add an item and make it $15, and the last one will be of 18. In the details I can write as delicious Italian pizza. Now I am going to publish it, and at the end it will say me the document was published, means this action is successful. So similarly I am going to make some more documents of pizzas. So here I have made some documents of pizza with all the details as I have made for the first pizza, Italian pizza. Similarly I have made the other 5. Okay, it's time to connect this Sanity Studio with our front side or the client side. So I am going to my VS Code, and first of all I have to close all these files and then also all the directories, and I am making a new folder with the name lib, means the library. Inside library I am making a file with the name client.js. Client.js basically works as a connection between our Sanity content management system and our Next.js application. It's just like a connection.php file in our mostly used PHP HTML setup. So in that setup we generally make connection.php where we specify the name of database and the password, clients, everything. So in the Sanity the setup is just like a same, but here we are making a client.js which will contain all the information regarding the connection. But to build this I have to install a dependency. So I am opening a new terminal here and write yarn add Sanity and then client. So it will add this dependency. The dependency has been installed successfully. You can confirm it by going into the package.json. Here if I look into my dependencies, and there is a Sanity client, means it's working fine. Okay, so inside the client let's start building this. First of all import Sanity client from the Sanity client like this, and I think there is a mistake in auto suggestion. This should not be in a curly braces. This is a default export like this, and then export const client which is our constant. For that use the Sanity client builder, and then we have to give a project ID first. So where we can get our project ID? If I go to my studio, then here you will see your account. So click on this and click on manage project. In this new tab of your browser, you can see it is saying project ID. So just copy this from here and paste it like this. Our next thing is to specify the data set, and data set is going to be the production, and the other parameter is API version. So API version is going to be our current date at which we are recording this. So like this. The next parameter is the use of CDN. So I am making it true because we have to use the CDN to fetch the images and many more data. The last parameter is going to be very important, which is our token. So from where we can get the token of our database. So if we go to the settings, or maybe we have to go the API, so there, go to the API settings, and in the last we have no tokens. So generate a token by clicking on add API token. Give this token a name. So let's say I am giving it a name of development, and also say development server, and give all the permissions for this token to work. Means the editor, it can read and write to all the data sets, and then just hit the save button. So it is making a token for us. Just simply copy this and paste it here like a string. So let's save this client now. Now I have to make our client able to fetch images from our database of Sanity. So to make it able, I have to install an other dependency. The name of this dependency is yarn add sanity image URL. So the dependency is installed. Close the terminal, and here I am making a builder for the images and giving it as image URL builder from the sanity image URL. Yeah, again the auto import is not correct by the VS Code, so I am just removing this, and it is also a default export from the sanity image URL builder. Okay, like this. Now as a parameter I am giving it my client. At the last I am exporting a function. Basically this function will load the images from database to our client side. So it will take source as a parameter, and then builder.image and take source. This is the total setup for making a client.js for our Sanity Studio. Let's save this and move to our index.js, which is the starting point of our application. Okay, here at the last of this our export default function home, I am making an other function. So let's make it bigger, and I am saying export const get server side props. Okay, making it as async function. I will explain why we are using the get server side props. So this is the official documentation of Next.js, and in the Next.js I am at the document get server side props, and here it is saying a very clear line that get server side props returns JSON which will be used to render the page. All this work will be handled automatically by Next.js, so you don't need to do anything extra as long as you have get server side props defined. This means we have no need to write any type of backend code, because the Next.js is providing us get server side props function out of the box. How we can use it? So inside this function I am going to make a query. We are going to write this query in a special language named as Grok by the Sanity. As this language too much resembles with the GraphQL, therefore we say it as Grok. How we are going to write this? I will say extract all the documents of type pizza. So it will return us all the pizza document like this. And then to execute this query I will say const pizzas is equal to await client. I have to import it from my library dot fetch and write the query. This client is the client that we have made in our client.js. If I look at the top of my file, here you can see it is auto imported by the VS Code. Okay. At last I have to return these pizzas to my application. So at last I am saying return props as the pizzas. So this syntax is originally devised by the Next.js team, as you see in the documentation. If there is a, yeah, here you can see return props and then you have to name your data. The similar syntax I have applied here. Okay. So in the home page I am receiving these pizzas as simply pizzas, and if I say here console log these pizzas, then I save it, and in my application I am going here. Let's open the terminal. So in terminal my server is not working because I just forget to start my server again, because I have stopped it while installing the Sanity. Therefore now I have to start it again by writing yarn dev, and here you can see I have some documents in my console, and these are the six documents. These are six documents because in our database, or you can see the sanity management system, I have the six pizzas. So therefore here I have the six documents. Means our query is working fine. How easily we have made a connection with our backend, and we are actually using it on our client side. All of this application is rendered at the server, means it is totally optimized for a Google to index our pages and to make it fast. All the compiling and building work is going to be on the server side. Let's make our menu by using these data. You can see this data also in our terminal. So but for now let's close this and also remove this console log, and I am passing all of this data to my menu section. So menu, and then for now I have no such component of pizzas, so I am going to make such one by writing inside the menu, by writing inside the components as menu.jsx, and here edf for the export default function, and in the parameters I will receive that pizzas parameter and then return some JSX, let's say div and menu, and I will now console log this. So console log pizzas. Let's save this and also save the index.js, and I have to import this menu like this. Now we can have a look here. This is the menu, and if I open the terminal, here you can see I have an array of 6 elements from the menu.jsx. It's working fine. So I also have to make a CSS module for my menu. So I am making a menu.module.css like this. Now open them side by side and there will be my menu. Now I am removing this div of menu, and here I am making a class name of container. First let's import the CSS here like this. Now the first thing will be the heading of our menu. So div css dot heading, and inside this there will be 3 spans. In the first span it will say our menu. So here I have written the text for all of these spans. Now it's time to style this. So for the module CSS, I am targeting the most parent class container, making display flex with the flex direction of column as I have did in the services section, giving it a gap of 3 rem and a margin top of let's say 6 rem. So if I save this, here you can see I have all the 3 spans in a horizontal. So I am making the heading also display flex with the flex direction of column, the font weight of bold, and the justify content as flex start like this. So have a look here. I have this beautiful menu heading, but still it is missing something, as in the developed version you can see that the text is larger and the our menu is in the red color. I am going to target the first child of our heading as nth child 1 and giving it a color of our variable, which is the theme red like this, with the font size of 1 rem and a margin bottom of 2 rem. Then similarly I will target the second and third child. So the second one and then the third one. For them I am making a font size of 2 rem. Let's save this, and here I have the exact heading that we want. It's time to make the menu actually by giving it some data. For doing this I am just making it small, and here I am saying pizzas, and here I am going to do some pure JavaScript work, like I am receiving the pizzas as a parameter. So here I will say pizzas dot map, and then for each pizza with its ID return some JSX. So yeah, like this I am returning some JSX, and the JSX there will be a css dot pizza class name, and it started me giving an error because here I should also provide it a key, and for now I am giving it a value of id, means the index. I know this is not a proper way to set up a key, but for now let's give it. After this I am going to make an image wrapper for the pizza. So css dot image wrapper, and then import the image component from the next image. The src means the source is going to be the src, and this is a very typical thing to write. Okay, let's give the alt attribute first to remove this warning, like this. Now you will be thinking how I have given the src equal to src. When we are fetching images from a database, then we cannot simply write the image name or the pizza.image inside the src. It will generate an error. Let me do this by writing pizza.image, and if I save this and have a look, here you can see I have an error. Image is missing required src property. However, I have given it a source of pizza.image. Still it is saying image is missing required src property. Why this is doing so? So to make it work, I have to declare a function loader. So this function just work as a parameter for our image component, and then I am giving it src, and then here I am also giving it as src. So what is the src? Before returning the JSX, I am going to make a constant with this name and writing URL for, as I have made it inside my client library or client.js, giving the pizza image as the prop for this, and at the end it will generate the URL from the Sanity CDN for us. Now if I save this and have a look, okay, still there is an error. Image with this cannot be loaded. It must have the width and height properties or layout fill. Okay, so to fix this here, first of all I should format it to have a proper alignment. Now I am giving it the object fit cover like this and a layout fill. So now the error will be gone, and okay, the image is not loaded. If I refresh this, here you can see I have the image of a pizza, not in a correct direction, in a correct position, even not in a correct size. So first let's style this pizza. Inside the module CSS, here I am targeting simply the image wrapper. Okay, let's double check the name. If I have same name, okay, there should be a bigger I, like this. And then I am giving it a height of 16 rem, width of 22 rem, position relative. The overflow will be the hidden, means if the image is larger than its width, with the border radius of 2 rem. Now if I save this, here you can see I have the beautiful images of 6 pizzas. Let's give them some more content. So to give them more content, after this image wrapper div, I am making a span, and inside the span I will say pizza.name, and then basically these values are the name of our fields from the schema of our pizza. After this, I am making an other span, and this span will simply say the price. So pizza dot price, like this. Now let's save it, and we have all the data required to make a menu. The only thing remaining is the styling for this menu. But there is a problem with fetching the data, that I am fetching all of prices for a single menu pizza. Means it is giving the price for the small size, the medium size, and the large size. But I want that it should only give the price of regular size. So what I will do, I will say pizza price array and the index 1. So now if I save this, I have only one price of a regular size. So here I am targeting the menu, giving it display flex with the flex wrap of, okay, so flex wrap like this, value of simple wrap. The row gap between the pizzas will be 2 rem. The align item center, justify content should not be center, it will be space around. So like this, let's save. Okay, still nothing too much to show, and let's see why this is not applied. This is not applied because here I should have to give a div with the class name of menu like this, and all of our pizza images and data will lie inside this menu div. So take it towards the end like this. Let's format the code, and yeah, now it's proper save, and the images and their data are in a horizontal direction. For more, I am targeting each pizza individually. So dot pizza and making display flex, align items flex start, let's say with the justify content center flex direction of column, because the price name and the image will be in a vertical direction with the gap of zero point 0.5 rem, which will be enough. The font size of 1.5 rem, a relative larger font with the font weight of bold. Yeah, but if we have a look at a developed version, so this dollar sign is again in a red. Again, use the same technique as we are using from the start, that make a separate span and then move this dollar sign here and make a separate styling for this by writing color as our variable like this. So everything is correct now. We also want to scale up these images inside their divs, as we have inside the developed version. You can see these images are scaling up on hovering, but the actual div size is not increasing, and they are producing a very beautiful effect. So for this effect, what I am going to do, below this image wrapper, I will say image wrapper is containing a span which is containing an image. On hover it, make the transform with the scale value of 1.1. So how I have targeted it and how I know this structure. Basically, I have studied and observed how the next image works. So then I found this the structure inside a next image component. So I manually targeted and made it to hover. So now if I hover on this is not working. Let's see why. Okay, the I should be capital. Again, let's try. So it is not working. Let's see why. So here I should not write image container, it is the image wrapper. So now let's save this, and here you can see how they are scaling up inside their divs and producing the same effect. For more, I can do that on pizza. On hovering it, make the cursor as pointer, so actually make them as look like a link. Now our menu is ready to use. It's time to make a separate pizza page for each of our menu element, so that our customer can actually buy them from our full stack application. Let's do this. Now we want to make the individual pizza page for each item in our menu. So for doing this, I am going to the menu.jsx, and on the top I am importing link from Next.js library. like this. Now we have to use this link to navigate between different pages. I am making a link around the image wrapper. So link with the href means the destination. I will declare the destination inside the curly braces, and first of all let's make this clear by moving the closing tags just below the image wrapper. Okay, I have to give some value inside the href. So inside the backticks I will say go to the pizza url and then call the slug. So I will say pizza dot slug dot current. It will give our current slug value. Okay, now I can format my code, and if I save this and have a look, so as soon as I click on any item, then it will give me a 404 page, means the current page not found. This is because we have not made any pizza page till yet. But if we look at the url, how clean is our path? It is going to the pizza directory and then it is going to the Mexico pizza, the slug name. Okay, now let's make each pizza page individually. For this, I am closing all the directories, and inside the pages I am making a new folder with the name pizza. Now inside the pizza I am making a file by scare brackets, and inside the scare brackets I am writing slug with .js. I know this is a little bit of crazy syntax to write a file name like this, but have a look in the browser. First we have to go inside the pizza. Therefore I have made a pizza folder, and then it is going to a dynamic slug. So therefore, to make anything dynamic in the Next.js, we have to write it inside the scare brackets. As it is dependent on our current slug value, therefore I have written the slug inside scare brackets. Now let's actually start building this. Here write edf means the export default function, and for the function I am giving it a name pizza. It will receive a prop pizza. Okay, so from where we will get this parameter of pizza, I will explain each thing. But first of all, let's make something important for now. I mean, that thing is also important, that how we can extract the prop. But for now, let's make the structure of our page. First of all, I will import the layout like this. Okay, again, my auto importing is not working. So what I will do, I will import it manually. I will say import, yeah, like this. Now if I save this and have a look, now I have a pizza page which have a header and a footer. And for now I am simply writing it as pizza page inside it, because I cannot render anything because I have no pizza data for now. So how can I will extract this data for each pizza individually? In such dynamic situation, we have to do, first of all, make export async function with the name get static paths. Remember, this thing is unique for the dynamic path as we have inside the scare brackets. And then inside the get static path, I will make a constant with the name paths, and I am going to extract all the paths from my Sanity Studio. So fetch, I can directly write the query inside the fetch statement, or I can make a constant with the name query as I have made inside the menu.jsx. Inside the index.js, but for now I'm just simply writing the query. I will say extract all the type of pizzas like this, and this is, and also where defined slug.current. I will explain this query, but first let's write this with the slug.current. Okay, so basically what this query is saying to us, first of all, it is saying extract all the documents where the type of document is pizza. This means it will return us all the pizzas in our Sanity database. I should remove this space from here. Then it is saying the pizzas for which the slug property is defined. Means now it is filtering some pizzas from all the pizza. So it is saying the pizzas for which the slug property is defined, extract all of them. The empty scare brackets are saying it's just like slicing as we do in Python or JavaScript by array index. So similarly we can do in this grok language. Here the empty scare brackets means extract all that documents. We are returning them on the basis of their slugs. So I hope now you have understand how this query is working. After this there should be a return statement, and return, it will return some paths. So paths dot map, and then inside, as each path will be a slug, so I am returning some params, and inside the params there will be the slug only. So this is the official document of Next.js where they are explaining us the purpose of getStaticPath. It is saying if a page has dynamic routes and use these getStaticProps, it needs to define a list of paths to be statically generated. When you export a function getStaticPath from a page that uses dynamic routes, Next.js will statically pre-render all paths specified by this function. This means by making the getStaticPath enable, our website will become a lot faster as each page will be pre-rendered in the background. Here is the syntax by which we are exporting the params from getStaticPath. So, okay, I also should make fallback as a blocking like this. So now our getStaticPath function is completed, and the only purpose of this function is to give us all the possible paths that can be generated on clicking the menu items before actually clicking on them. And then I will receive all of these paths inside the getStatic props. So export async function getStatic props like this, and it will contain a parameter context, and inside this, first of all, I will say make a slug with an empty value from the context.params. So what it will do, from the parameters of our URL, it will extract the slug value, and if slug is not defined, then as a precautionary measure, it will give it an empty string value. And then I am saying const pizza is equal to await client dot fetch. Okay, I have to import client, so here it is imported now. Okay, then as I have to fetch according to some query, I will say extract all the documents where the type is equal to the pizza and the slug dot current is equal to the our slug that we have made in our path, and then extract only the first type of that document. Okay, so actually what this query is actually saying, it is saying extract all the documents where the type is pizza and where the slug of pizza is equal to our current slug that is received from our URL. So we will fetch the data of a specific pizza from our Sanity Studio and then return some props as we do in get server side props, and here I will just simply return the pizza. Now if I format the code and I am going to my pizza page actually, and instead of just writing this, if before returning I console log the pizza, so console log pizza, and I should also remove the console log from here from the menu.jsx. Now I'm going to see my page. So guys, in the terminal I am receiving nothing, and let's see why it is giving me null. So after observing all of my code here, I found a very small error that I have made a P in capital letter. So as soon as I make it a small p and then I refresh my page, or maybe without refresh it will work. But now I open my terminal. Here you can see I am receiving an object which is containing all the information regarding a pizza. So this means our dynamic page is working fine now. It's time to actually build this page inside the layout. So I am removing this console log of pizza data, and here I am making a CSS dot container, and inside this container again I am going to make an image wrapper, and inside this wrapper I am making an image component of the Next.js. So I am importing it from Next, and I have to give it an src, and again I am going to src as src because we are fetching some data dynamically from the database. Okay, so it will be like this one, like this. So I have to make a loader function, therefore I am making loader is then a callback function of src, and here I am declaring my src as const src is equal to url for pizza.image, and then generate the url, and now I have to import the url from client library, and then give it an alt attribute of nothing with the layout of fill like this, and unoptimized. I am giving it a parameter of unoptimized because in this image I am handling it too much manually with the object fit cover. Let's save this. Okay, this is giving me an error of css, so I have to make a css module for this one. Here I am saying pizza.module.css. Now I will import it inside my slug.js. So again it is giving me an error that module not found, because this is, I think so, my directory. And yeah, so now the error has been gone, and this is my image that I have extracted from the Sanity. It's time to style it so we can actually see our page. Inside my module I am saying container have display flags padding of 2 rem, gap of 5 rem with the margin top of 3 rem. And after this I am styling my image wrapper as position relative width of 40% of our total page with the height of 25 rem and the overflow hidden, then the border radius of 2 rem. Let's save this, and yeah, here we have our pizza image. How beautiful it is looking. For here I am going to build the right side of my pizza page. So I am saying right side, which will contain all the information, mean prices, size, and all the other things. So div css size, and inside the size I am making a span which is containing text like size, and then I am making another div with the name size variants like this. Here I am going to make 3 more divs, so just copy and paste. First div will have small size, the next has medium, and the third one has large. After this I will make a quantity counter, so quantity counter like this, and this will have name as css quantity like this. Let's save this. And okay, so I am saying all this data here, I should make it as display flex, so they will be in a horizontal direction, not in vertical. But why it is doing so, let's see why. Because all of this is outside of parent container like this, inside the parent container, and this right side is going to be here. Let's format the code again, see, and yeah, now they are in a correct direction. Let's style them, but first I am going to make hover effect on the image. So here on the image wrapper is containing a span which is containing an image. On hover that image, transform it by scaling it around 1.1%, and then I will go to the right side making this flex of 1, so it will take equal width with the display flex and the flex direction of column, so that every stuff will be in vertical direction with the font size of 2.2 rem and the font weight of bold. Justify content space between. Again, this is not working because we have made no right side div. So div.css.right, and I am making this just below all the things like this. Let's see. Yeah, now it's working. Before the sizes, I also want to display the name. So here I will say pizza.name like this, and also the description. So instead of name, now I will say it as details like this. Let's save. And yeah, this is the name with the details, and the other thing is going to be the price. So in a separate span I am making a dollar sign and then pizza dot price, as price is an array, so I will extracting the price of regular size or the medium size. Let's save it, and now I have the price also. Let's style all of them one by one. After the right, I am saying right is containing an nth child with the second position, and font size should be 1.2 rem with the font weight of, let's say, normal, and the color will be our variable which I have made in a globals with the gray. Then I am targeting the size div making display flex with the gap of 3 rem and the font weight of 600, which is more bold than normal with the font size of 1.6 rem. Let's save this, and yeah, this is perfectly aligned. For the size variants, here I will say dot size variants is containing some divs for all of them. Make display flags, line item center, justify content center, and padding of 0.3 rem and 1.5 rem for each of the div with the border of 2 pixels solid with our theme color, means the theme red. Let's save this. Okay, this is not applied because I think size variance is not declared here. So yeah, that was large, so I'm just copy and pasting this. Now save, and here I have all of these. Let's give them a border radius. Here I will say the border radius of each will be 2 rem, but I also want to make them in a horizontal direction, so I am targeting size variance directly, making display flex with the gap of 0.6 rem, the font weight of normal, the color will be our theme red, like this, and with the font size of 0.8 rem. Let's save this, and yeah, how cool our sizes are now looking. On hover, I want to change their text color and div color. So okay, I will say size variance containing some divs, and on hover each of the div, make the background color as our theme red, like this, and the color of text should be white. So if I save this and I hover, then you can see, okay, the cursor should also be like the pointer. So cursor pointer, and now I am targeting the quantity. I think so, yeah, there is a quantity. So for the quantity, before styling it, let's complete this here. So I am making a div here with the class name of counter. Inside this, I am making an image with the source of left arrow. I will import it from the assets folder. So just copy this, and here I am saying import left arrow from, go to the assets one and arrow left.png. Similarly, I am also importing the right arrow, like this. Now let's use them. Okay, here after the left arrow, I am giving it a height of 20 pixels and also the width of 20 pixels with the alt attribute of nothing and the object fit of contain. By the way, you can consider all of these object fit, cover, contain, fill by actually going to the documentation of Next.js image. I am not going into details of such small things because then our huge concepts like the global management and the sanity management will be missed. Therefore, I am just showing them by writing, and then let's close this image. So after this, I am making a span in which there will be quantity. By default it will be 1, and just simply copy this image and paste it after this span, and here say the right arrow, like this. Let's save it and have look. Here I have this beautiful counter. Let's style this. I am saying dot quantity is containing display flex, font size of 1.6 rem with the font weight of 600. Okay, gap of 3 rem, and then I am targeting the counter, making them display flex, gap of 1 rem, and then let's save this, and here I have the beautiful counter. It's time to make the final object, which is the button, to make it add to cart. So this is my counter div and this is the quantity div. So let's see where it is ending. Go to the matching pair. Here it is ending. After this, here I will make button. So for the button, simply make a div with the css dot btn, and I am also giving it a string class name which is simply button by my dollar sign, like this, inside the backticks. And for this button I am just saying add to cart. Let's save this and have look. Here is add to cart button. Let's style it for this specific component. So I am saying dot btn, has the font weight of normal with the padding of 0.5 rem, 1 rem and the font size of 1 rem. Let's save this and yeah. So our static page is now completed for the page. Okay, I should also change this dollar color as I am doing from the beginning of our tutorial by making the dollar sign inside a separate span like this and then giving it a style like this. Now save and yeah, how beautiful our individual pizza page is looking now. To add the functionality of changing price according to the selected size means small will have less price than medium and then large. So for making this I am going to my slug.js and here at the very top I am going to use the useState hook of the React. So if I say use state snippet, yeah, like this, and then size and set size, and on the very first our selected size will be the 1, means the medium size, as 0 stands for the small size. I also have to import the use state from the React. So yeah, like this I have imported this. Now how I am going to use this size? Okay, so here I will render the CSS for these divs according to the selected size. On small, I am saying on click this div, make a fallback function and this function set size as 0. So the small size will be selected. And similarly for the medium, I am saying on click make a fallback function and on this set the size as the 1. And similarly for the large, I will set it as 2 like this. Now let's save and format the code. Here you can easily see on small the size is 0, then 1 and 2. Also for the different styling according to the selected size I am going to change their class names. So the class name as dependent on the size I am making a condition here. I am saying if size is equal to the 0 then return css dot selected which I will make, and if it is not the case then return nothing. So if I format it then you can observe it more clearly. First of all, on clicking the small, set the size as 0, and if our use state is having the value 0 then return the CSS class selected. So similarly I am just copying this class name from here, and for the medium size just paste it like this, but here the condition will be changed from 0 to 1, and for the large size here also just paste this but make the condition as 2. Now let's save this, and inside the CSS I am going to make a class selected, and inside the selected I am just copy and pasting the hover effect from here and pasting all the select styling here. Let's save this, and now let's try to click on the small. So if I click on small, medium, okay, it's not working. Let's see why. Okay, so selected, and okay, the problem is very little that I have made a typo, the selected spelling here like this. Now let's save this, and here you see that I have small size and medium and then the large, and it is actually selected, means on which size we click it becomes selected size. And if I refresh this page then you will see by default we will select it with the medium size. So if I refresh this, and here it is, the medium size is selected because the default value of our size use state is 0. It's time to render the price of our pizza according to the size. So for the price here I am going to the price div. Where is the price div? So here is the price div where I have made the dollar color as our theme red. So here I am rendering the price. So the price is now dependent on the size. So the index of size will be the index of our price as we have both the values in linear fashion. So now if I save this, here you see if I click on small then the price is also 15, on medium it is 18, on large it is 20. So how cool this is. It's time to make the functionality to actually render this counter dynamically. If I click on this then the value should be moved up, and if I click on this then it should be moved down up to the 1. So okay, here I am going to make an other use state snippet. So use state snippet like this, and the name of our use state will be the quantity, and by default the quantity will be 1. Okay, and then I am going to the image here, which is the left arrow image, and I am saying on click just simply execute a function with the name handle quan, means handle quantity. So just copy this name and okay, paste this function here. I am making a comment with the handle quantity. Okay, and const just paste the name with an arrowhead function like this. Okay, so I am also going to receive a parameter which is like this type. So to pass this parameter, I am going to pass it from this image. In handle quan, I am going to pass decrement because this is the left arrow, so it will decrease our quantity. And then similarly for the next image, I am going to make it handle quantity, but the parameter in this question will be increment. So now I will handle my handle quantity function according to this type. So make a condition type is equal to the increment. Let's say first handle the increment, and if it is true, then set quantity. First of all, take the previous value and then return the previous plus 1, means add 1 to the previous quantity. And if it is not the case, then check an other condition. In this situation, check if the quantity is equal to the 1, and if in this situation, then do nothing. And if this is not true, then set quantity as the take previous value and then previous minus 1. So if I save this and format the code, here you can see I am saying if type is increment, then increase the quantity, and if this is not the case, means the type is decrement, then check if the quantity is equal to the 1, and if the quantity is 1, then do not decrease the quantity more and just return nothing, and if this is not the case, then decrease the quantity to 1. So let's save this, and okay, there is an error, too many re-renders. So why this is happening? Because it is making an infinite loop. So to handle this here, I have to make it as a callback function, because whenever we have to give parameter on click event, then the function should be inside a callback function, and if there is no need of parameter, then you can write it directly. So simply just copy this and also make it the callback function. Now let's save. So the error is gone now, but it will not work for now because we have not made the quantity as dynamic. Instead of simply writing 1, here I should write the quantity. So quantity, okay, like this. Now save and have a look. If I click on this, it is decreasing and then it is increasing, and also notice that this is not decreasing more than 1. If I refresh the page, the default quantity will be 1. Yeah, like this. How cool it is. So we have completed our product page successfully. So guys, I don't want to go crazy by putting all the content in one video. So next part will be released in 3 to 4 days, where we will see how to integrate cart page, online payment, order tracking and many more. Till then, if you like my work, then do subscribe the channel and support me on Patreon. Take care.